My people of Edo State, development is not a miracle. It is the result of responsibility and action. You want good roads, quality hospitals, schools, jobs for our youth? Then you must understand this simple truth. Government cannot perform without your tax. Government will fix schools, build roads, light up communities if the people pay their tax. That's how governance works. It is not about politics. It is about progress. When you pay your tax, you are not helping the government. You are helping yourself. You are helping your family and your future. Don't wait to be chased. Do the right thing. Be part of building the new Edo State. Pay your tax with pride. Let us build Edo together. This message is brought to you by Edo State Internal Revenue Service.
EIRS, Administering Revenue for Service and Development.
My people of Edo State, development is not a miracle. It is the result of responsibility and action. You want good roads, quality hospitals, schools, jobs for our youth? Then you must understand this simple truth. Government cannot perform without your tax. Government will fix schools, build roads, light up communities if the people pay their tax. That's how governance works. It is not about politics. It is about progress. When you pay your tax, you are not helping the government. You are helping yourself. You are helping your family and your future. Don't wait to be chased. Do the right thing. Be part of building the new Edo State. Pay your tax with pride. Let us build Edo together. This message is brought to you by Edo State Internal Revenue Service.
EIRS, Administering Revenue for Service and Development.
President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday assured Nigerians that the country's worst days are over. He declared that its economic reforms are beginning to deliver as to mark the country's 65th independent anniversary. Tinubu said his administration are choosing the path of tomorrow over the comfort of today. Bold results. Tinubu hailed the resilience of Nigeria, saying the country has survived a civil war, military rule, and political crisis that is still striving to build a more perfect nation. He described the 65th anniversary as a moment for reflection on the sacrifices of the nation's founding fathers and the progress achieved since independence in 1960. The president highlighted achievements in education and healthcare, noting that Nigeria has grown from just 2 tertiary institutions at independence to 274 universities, 183 polytechnics, and 236 colleges of education by 2024. Tinubu defended its economic reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidies and the unification of foreign exchange rates, which he said ended decades of distortions and rent-seeking. According to him, this difficult decision freed resources for investment in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and social programs. The president really had a 12 list of 12 economic milestones achieved in the last 2 years and 4 months in office. Meanwhile, the federal government has said the Dangote Group will redeploy staff earlier disengaged from its refinery operations, following the resolution of its dispute with the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. The federal government also announced that the redeployed staff will not suffer any loss of pay due to the redeployment. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Mohammed Magari Dingjadi, confirmed this in a statement issued on Wednesday in Abuja. He further explained that both sides had reached a compromise, noting that Pegasan agreed to start the process of calling off the strike. Both parties agreed to this understanding in good faith. The conciliation meetings followed a breakdown in earlier talks between the refinery management and Pegasan, which had ended in a deadlock on Monday. The dispute began after Pegasan raised concerns over what it described as mass transfers and dismissals of union members by Dangote's refinery management. The union also accused the company of replacing some Nigerian staff with foreign workers, arguing that these actions violated labor laws and undermined local employment rights. The union also accused the company of replacing some Nigerian staff with foreign workers, arguing that these actions violated labor laws and undermine local employment rights. The refinery, however, denied these allegations, stating that the workforce organization was due to operational requirements and not related to union activities. The Executive Director Corporate Services of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company and former two-time member of who represents Oredo Federal Constituency between 2015 to 2023 writes Dr. Omorege Ogbede Iyama has joined millions of Nigerians to celebrate Nigeria's 65th Independence Day anniversary. In a statement, Dr. Iyama said the Independence Day is a celebration of Nigeria's shared vision and collective strength as a nation. He said that at the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, they are committed to empowering the workforce, strengthening the institution to also work towards building a brighter and more sustainable Nigeria. Right Honorable Dr. Omorege Ogbede Iyama called for the continued unity and peace of Nigeria and called on to work together, maintaining peace, development, and progress, adding that Nigeria's unity should be a collective responsibility. The U.S. government has now shut down as senators have failed to pass a last-minute funding bill. The shutdown was first since 2018 and 2019 could bring some, but not all, U.S. government services to a temporary halt. President Donald Trump threatens mass, irreversible firings of federal workers under a shutdown. BeeTv News' Esoe Osamege has details.
Bill upon reconsideration is not passed.
The Republican-controlled Senate failed to pass a last-minute government spending bill yesterday, which could have averted the shutdown. The Republicans were pushing to pass a bill to extend government funding without any other initiative attached, known as a clean continuing resolution. But they only have 53 seats in the Senate and need 60 votes to pass such a bill. This meant they needed the Democrat support to pass the bill, and the Democrats knew that. An incompetent administration, California Governor Gavin Newsom shares on X a photo of Trump in his office, calling the president a very weak man who can't even do stairs. And on the Republican side, the Republican Conference in the United States House of Representatives shares on X a video of lights in the Capitol's building turning out, saying the Democrats are putting illegal aliens first and hurting hardworking Americans in the process. Representative Chucks Fleshman says that Democrats have officially shut down our government and hardworking taxpayers will have to pay the bill. Fellow Representative Dusty Johnson
talks on Monday. Hamas has not yet given an official response. Qatar's foreign ministry has said Hamas is studying the White House proposal responsibly. A senior Palestinian official with knowledge of Hamas talks told the BBC they involve the group's leadership both inside and outside of Gaza. The group's military commander in the territory, Ez al-Din al-Haddad, is thought to determined to keep fighting rather than accept the plan on offer. Hamas figures outside Gaza have recently found themselves sidelined in discussions as they do not have direct control over the hostages. Hamas talks, which are of the US. Additionally, a map of Gaza shared by the Trump administration shows what appears to be a planned buffer zone along Gaza's southern border with Egypt. It is unclear how this would be administered, but if Israel is involved, it is also likely to be a point of contention. Harmony Agbafo, reporting for BeeTv News.
At least 69 people have been killed in a 6.9 magnitude earthquake in the central Philippines, disaster management official says. Cebu province has declared a state of calamity after the earthquake struck at around 2200 local time and 1400 GMT Tuesday, damaging buildings and churches and cracking on roads and bridges. Rescuers are sifting through rubble for survivors. Authorities rushed to deliver aid and restore electricity and communication lines. Let's join BeeTv News Esoye Osamege for more reports.
The Philippines is very vulnerable to natural disaster as it lies on the geological unstable ring of fire. It also lies in the path of typhoons that sweep across the Pacific Ocean every year. The earthquake comes a week after back-to-back typhoons killed over a dozen people. An unusually wet monsoon season caused widespread flooding, stoking public anger. Quake follows super typhoon and massive floods to the spark protests published at 0.7 o'clock. This earthquake comes barely over a week after back-to-back typhoons killed over a dozen people and wrought damage to infrastructure and crops. Super Typhoon Ragasa, known locally as Nado, struck in late September, followed swiftly by Typhoon Boaluru, known locally as Opang. In the Mount area, an extraordinarily wet winter season caused widespread flooding, sparking anger and protests over unfinished and substandard flood control systems that have been blamed on corruption. The local authorities have declared a state of calamity in the affected areas and appealed for volunteers with medical experience to help deal with injuries. Buckled and cracked roads and fallen bridges are making access difficult for emergency services. The Philippines is very vulnerable to natural disaster. It is located on the geological unstable ring of fire and lies in a part of typhoons that sweep across the Pacific Ocean every year. 7 of those who died in the quake lived in a village built to house victims of Typhoon Haiyan, which struck the central Philippines 12 years ago, killing more than 6,000 people. Esoye Osamege, reporting for BeeTv News.
EU leaders gather in Copenhagen on Wednesday under pressure to boost European defense after of Russian incursions into EU space and days after drones targeted that huge airport. Incursions have become most acute for countries on the EU eastern flank such as Poland and Estonia. States have already backed plans for a multi-layered drone war to quickly detect, then track and destroy Russian drones. BeeTv News Temitope Oluwafemi has details.
Denmark has beefed up security ahead of the summit, banning all civilian drone flights until Friday and placing heavy restrictions on traffic in Copenhagen. Despite the high security, there was little evidence of alarm in the center of the capital ahead of the summit. Denmark will also host a broader European political community summit on Thursday, and international allies have lent support to ensure both events pass without incidents. Copenhagen Airport, followed by several Danish airports and military sites on the Jutland Peninsula, faced drone disruption last week. 10 allies are providing anti-drone and surveillance support, according to Denmark's military, which has highlighted an increased presence of foreign troops and equipment. Among the countries contributing are Portland, the UK, the Netherlands, Finland, Sweden, and the US. A German frigate has also docked in Copenhagen. As host to European leaders over 2 days, Denmark will want to fend off any more of Russia's involvement in last week's disruption in Denmark. The idea of a drone war was raised a month ago by von der Leyen in missiles to take out drones which are only costing a couple of $1,000s. A senior EU diplomat told the BBC there were still questions over financing the plan and over command and control. But Europe's response to Russia's drone violation in Portland had led to some serious soul-searching. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BeeTv News.
Has said its government will look again at international law to meet the challenge of mass migration. The Prime Minister gave the clearest sign yesterday. Yet the government is planning a major overhaul on the use of the European Convention on Human Rights in immigration cases, but insisted it would not pull the UK out of existing treaties. His comment came after his Home Secretary set up plans to tighten rules for migrants seeking indefinite leave to remain during a Labour Party conference focused on how to beat an insurgent reform UK. Sarker told Radios for today's program, we need to look again at the interpretation of a wide range of international laws by UK courts. Sarker warned that the laws must be applied in the circumstances as they are now, before adding that countries are experiencing mass migration in a way that we have not seen in previous years. To meet this new challenge, we need to look again at the interpretation of some of these provisions, not tear them down, he said. Press for details about what was blocking deportations of foreign criminals. Sarker cited Articles 3 and 8 of the ECHR, which ban torture and protect the rights to private and family life respectively. Ministers were already exploring ways to tighten the interpretation of aspects of the ECHR to crack down on immigration. In May, the government's immigration white paper promised legislation to clarify how the rights to a family life in European human rights law should apply to immigration cases. During a wide-range interview, Sarker also said it was wrong that thousands of young people remain out of work because of mental problems. And now to entertainment, Nigeria artist Mr. Ree has expressed dissatisfaction over his decision to Futuration Limited the song's full potential and